In Plymouth, Massachusetts. On the evening of Thanksgiving, Sheriff Eric Newland arrives at his friends Amanda and her husband Mitch's house. I made all on my own. Ah, you're definitely not going to be single for long. Mitch is the manager of one of the Wright Mart stores, and he learned he has been called into work for early Black Friday sales by his boss, Thomas Wright. This is his new wife, Kathleen, and daughter, Jessica, and they have the typical, I hate you, you're not my mom, you'll never know my love, I didn't marry you, sweetie, your sperm donor's rich, so I'm staying. Stepmother, stepdaughter relationship. Jess is dating Bobby, who's the typical star athlete. Scholarships waiting after graduation, going to be balling. Everyone's going to be saying, I used to know Bobby. They join their friends, Evan, Gaby, Addison Ray.
I need a bad bleep. Addison Ray. Lashadi the baddest. Yeah.
Scuba, and Yulia for the movies, but idiot Evan decides to take a pit stop, Wright Mart. Jessica is the Wright Mart Nepo baby, so they enter the store before it actually opens. Amanda comes over to the store to give Mitch his Thanksgiving dinner, while having her own private bodyguard, the sheriff. Outside, Eric and Mitch try calming down the crowd, but a delinquent from a rival school, Lonnie, instigates a riot by using the blowhorn to announce that the store's finally open. Yeah, this is insane. I know Black Friday deals are good, but they can't be that good. Superstar athlete sees that Doug hasn't died due to the trampling, so he tries to help but gets his wrist broken after someone stomps on it. Amanda goes out in one of the worst ways possible. Can you imagine being scalped? Damn. Mitch sees the state Amanda is in, and the chaos only ends after Eric fires a shot into the ceiling. A year later, Wright Mart is getting ready for another Black Friday sale. Mitch has since quit his job, and he's now actively rallying against Thomas and the company after no arrests were made, since security footage had apparently not been working that night. The gang is tagged on an Instagram post by someone calling themselves John Carver, who's basically threatening their lives. Meanwhile, John Carver is sharpening his action revenge weapon after stealing it at Thomas's Wright Mart commercial. Waitress Lizzie, who was a willing participant at the Death Black Friday sale, who was actually the one holding the cart that killed Amanda, gets attacked suddenly by a killer wearing a John Carver mask, slashing her palm and dunking her head into a sink full of water before sticking her to the frozen freezer door. Lizzie has to unwillingly rips her skin off to escape. What's the worst that can happen? This is the worst that can happen. Can you imagine? I'd be too busy crashing out and probably attack the attacker. Not to be a know-it-all, but she uses an iPhone. She could have at least tried using Big Sis Siri.
Get in the car, Elizabeth.
Except she can't because her keys are already taken. Lizzie is clearly not the brightest one in the room because while going to her car, she stands in the middle of the lot searching for her keys, and then dummy Lizzie runs in a straight line towards a dead-end wall. Are you kidding me, Liz? Why didn't she take a right or even left turn at the last second? Because his reaction time wouldn't have probably been good, and she could have bought herself time to go run for help to others. Carver is clearly a psycho because why? Why the display of her bottom half? The friends find a new post on the John Carver account, now with all their names written on reserved seats. Jess sees Bobby after a year of not speaking, since the accident killed the star pitcher in him. She opens up to him that Kathleen hid the footage from that night to save the store and Thomas from any bad publicity. Bobby finds out that Jess and Ryan started dating after he cast her that ghosted her after the accident. Another security guard, Manny, is on Carver's hit list. He's getting ready to go on vacation, but of course Carver's there to ruin everything for him. He gets impaled in the stomach with an electric mixer, but he doesn't stop there. He then wraps a rope around his neck and uses it to end Manny. They're yet again tagged in his Insta posts. Jess checks the footage and she's surprised to see Ryan talking to Doug before the riot, which is sus to them because he told them that he didn't know anyone at the sale. Eric sees the footage and tells them he'll continue with his investigations and they should stay safe and trust no one. The friends start their own suspect list, such as Mitch, who's the biggest hater of Wright Mart. Even Ryan. Lonnie, the school rival, is coaching when his girlfriend Amy calls him over to show off her skills on the trampoline, but convenient Carver. Always there Carver. Getting his revenge, Carver sneaks up behind him and twists his neck backwards. Amy's facing backwards, so she's unaware and keeps jumping. Carver sticks a knife from under the trampoline, causing her foot to get stabbed before she falls and is fatally ended through the neck and back. After the incident, Jess is at school with Evan and Gaby to the high school while officers are outside. Jess separates from the couple and Carver attacks and knocks them out. Convenient Carver is there yet again. He tries Jess, but she manages to hide from him and narrowly escape. Ryan is there immediately, and Bobby tells him that they know he was talking to the guard at the sale. Ryan says that's because he was trying to get Addie to help him get better grades, and calls him an idiot if he really thought he'd be a part of the Convenient Carver saga. Yulia's father rolls in G-Wagon. Big money.
Yeah, son.
I'm a Libra.
Big Libra. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
I'm pretty sure they're Italian, so Italian mob, anyone? He tells her that they're going to Florida as son as they get home. Jess and Scuba borrow a pew-pew from their friendly neighborhood criminal/supplier. They have a security guard looking after them. But, of course, the never-disappointing convenient Carver gets into their house, shoots the guard along with Yulia's father. I hated this part of the movie because clearly Yulia's dad is not an ordinary person, so he'd definitely have way more security in his house, especially when there's a killer on loose in the town. They should have had a few more bodyguards to make it more realistic. Jess and Scuba are on FaceTime with her when she's attacked. They make it to her house and he shows them a video is Gabby and Ethan being held hostage. When Scuba pulls the trigger, nothing happens. Yulia is thrown on top of a buzzsaw. The police decide on a plan to lure out Carver during the Thanksgiving parade, with Jess and her family, plus Scuba, being made to participate since Carver is specifically targeting them. After a brief protest from Mitch, Carver comes out in a creepy clown costume and decapitates a turkey mascot before throwing smoke bombs into the crowd. Carver hits them with tranquilizers. Kathleen wakes up in Carver's basement where he is preparing her like a turkey. She manages to free herself and goes upstairs and finds all the windows bared up with wood, and she finds Amy inside the freezer still alive. Carver catches her again and throws her into an oven, where she is cooked to death. Carver then brings her roasted, well-done, dry-as-hell corpse out to a horrified Thomas alongside Jess, Scuba, Evan, and Gaby. Carver begins a live stream, which the police manage to get the location of it. They arrive but are just in an open parking, so they make a plan to try the underground tunnels. But they soon realize Carver is a lot smarter than them, and the location they have is of another phone taking the video of the actual live stream. Carver smashes Evan's skull on camera. It's giving very much the dark web. The amount of gore adjacent scenes in this movie are insane. Jess uses a ring she got from the local dealer to cut the ropes to herself free, and she passes it to Scuba so he can go free himself. They manage to run out of the dining room before Carver uses the axe he stole at the Right Mart commercial shoot, while Jess runs through the woods and comes across a parade warehouse. She finds Eric outside, seemingly unconscious and possibly gone. Jessica goes inside the warehouse, and boom, Bobby takes off the mask and he's Carver. She points the pew-pew at him, and luckily Eric didn't die, so he takes the pew-pew and shoots Bobby. The police show up and tell her that her dad and friends are safe, but Bobby managed to escape. When Eric is left alone with Jessica, she sees brambles on his shoes, similar to the ones she went through in the woods, which reveals to her that he is the real John Carver. He admits to it, saying that he was fueled by revenge because he was having an affair with Amanda, and she was pregnant with their baby when she died. You know that saying that says, a person with nothing to lose is the most dangerous? Yeah, Eric is proof of this. He says he roofied Bobby to make them think he was Carver. Jess reveals she was live streaming his confession. Bobby returns to save Jessica, and you know how the typical movie things go. They manage to fuel the float and then shoot the float, causing a massive explosion that engulfs Eric in flames. Did you expect the killer to be who it was, or were you completely surprised? Anyways, thanks for watching.